Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Carly. Hi.
I am sitting here with Teresa, and Teresa is, I guess you could say, I feel like we've known each other forever,
Yes.
even though it's only
Absolutely.
been a few months.
Right. Feels so much longer. So much longer. Yes.
Isn't that cool about getting older? We start to realize, or I do, and then the people I work with, that it's not about how long you've known somebody or blood. It's about like-minded souls on the same page, which we are, and that's why I'm talking to you today.
We are. There's just a connection. It's not the length of time. There's just a connection. Yeah.
Well, and let's tell people, let's get right to it. So for people out there
Okay.
that are hurting,
Yeah.
how we met, how you found me, the dark place you were in, and then meeting me. Maybe say a few sentences about where you were at and then how we first met.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in a very dark place. I had been prescribed medication for anxiety that did not suit me well. It reacted wrong. It gave me suicidal thoughts. It made me had a horrible mindset, put me in the darkest place I've ever been in my life. It was very scary, very unnerving, nightmares. It wasn't even me. It wasn't me. And I was reaching out, I was praying to God, please guide me, please help me. And I'm not often on social media, but I went on Facebook and there you were. And I read this and I'm like, trauma and everything I was feeling. And I'm like, please, just please let this be the answer. So I reached out to you and you called me. And, you know, the phone call that you gave me such comfort. And I kept going on and on and on. And you were so kind. And I thought, I am not alone. I'm not the only soul out there.
That's a great point. This is what people need to hear. So if they're on meds or over medicated or not even on meds, just in a dark place, because I was once there too, with
Yes.
those thoughts, with those sensations, you and I have that in common. We
Yes.
both were hitting our bottom. We had been in many therapies and tried many modalities, and we still were not getting better, and we were being haunted by this really dark feeling and thoughts, like to the point suicidal, which is so.
Absolutely. And I've never been suicidal before in my life. It was to the point of this didn't work, that didn't work. And my emotions were not being evaluated, they weren't being met. And I was so depleted and it was going darker and darker.
So we both had our breaking point. So for whoever's watching this is going to be so helpful to know if you are having your breaking point or you're hitting bottom, there's hope because you and I were both there.
Yes.
We're going to get into more what that's about. But first, I want to say no matter how much you and I both tried, there when you hit your breaking point, an answer does come. Like I called my cousin Katie, who guided me to Peter Levine's book, Waking the Tiger. That was my turning moment of hope that I'm not going to die. I'm not going to live like this forever. And I had no idea why I was being haunted by the dark stuff. But what we'll get into in this talk a bit, it's because you and I both, and a lot of people out there, had unresolved trauma, meaning bad things had happened to us in our life that not only, well, for me, I'll let you speak for you, I was in denial about. That was my trauma pattern, thinking if you said to me, what does the word trauma mean? I would say it's a war veteran. And I didn't realize some of the events I went through, just like you, Teresa, where we've emotionally, mentally, physically been hurt. We can say that because it's good for people
Right.
to know.
Right.
And we both shut down. That is PTSD. That's trauma. That's mental health. It's unresolved pain. And I think that, like, if nobody watched this interview or video any further, just to know that, right?
Exactly, because I was told by a doctor, oh, you have PTSD. Well, I walked out going, well, that didn't help me. I still feel dark. I still feel uneasy. Okay, we now have a title, but that didn't help me. I didn't understand it. And where we've both been in that dark place, okay, titles are nice sometimes, but okay, you have OCD thoughts, your PTSD. Well, I walked out the door going,
What do I
um,
do?
what do I do? What do I do? I've never been this broken before.
So that's a really good point. Like for everybody's different. For me, I remember buying a huge manual on PTSD and I was just so grateful. I think this is fun to compare. We're doing
Right,
what is it? Compare and contrast. We
right.
we both are very similar. And I remember going, oh, this makes me feel better because now I know what's wrong with me. Flip through the book, was like, yeah, this sounds like me. Get to the end, and I was like, okay, now what? Great. What do I do now?
You sound like me because I'm like 5 books in going, okay. And then I'm going to a bookstore going, okay, I want another book. I want another book. But what I
Looking
didn't
for answers.
looking for answers, but what I didn't understand was I wasn't healing my trauma. I was saying, okay, yes, I'm feeling this. Yes, I'm feeling that. But the trauma wasn't going away because I hadn't addressed that.
You're making me feel better too. On a side note, I call my podcast Get Answers. Don't you feel like that is when we're suffering, we need answers?
Absolutely, because you're scared. You want something, you want something concrete. Just say, hey, it's okay not to be okay, but I'm not even okay with that. You want some answers.
Yeah. Especially when you're having these dark thoughts that are making you not feel
Absolutely.
like being here. That's just
Right.
messed
It's
up.
like, exactly. It's like, Lord, I don't want to die, but I can't handle this. I need help.
So
And you don't know where to reach at times.
this is I didn't even know this was going to come up. This is one of the, like, if we were to say the 3 points we're going to take away from this talk. One is, know that no matter how much you're hurting or breaking, that when you hear this, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, meaning not just, oh, like, oh, that's too airy fairy, meaning an answer will come. It's going to show up. What, maybe it's this video, because I'll leave resources
Oh,
and links.
absolutely. And yes, it's hard, but just know you're worth it. You're so worth it. And yes,
And the answer will come. So
it does come. It does come when you're searching. It does come.
no
Just like
matter how long.
no matter how, when I go on Facebook and I'm like, oh, well, look at this. I'm not sure about this program. And I reached out. And when you called me, I was just, oh my. And it has been a huge turnaround to address the trauma.
Yes.
Yeah, and as you heal and move forward and be patient with yourself, you didn't break overnight, and you value all the positive changes.
Let's talk about that. So what you did is you started my program, which
Yes.
gave you some of the answers you were looking for.
Yes, starting your program, it just opened up so much things I had never thought about. It addressed emotions. It doing your program opened up and showed me what my root cause is. My root cause of love equals fear. I didn't realize that. I didn't know. And doing your program, I started listening to my body for once instead of pushing myself, going into just a freeze, a numb mindset of you just keep going forward.
You didn't have your voice either. So
Oh,
you're a good example, and same with me, of shut down. And so if people feel either two emotions, numb or terrified, it means we've taken too much crap. But before we go further, I want to ask you, because if you ask me, Karlee, did you know where the place we were just talking about when we were at our darkest, that we had trauma? Did you know? Because now I know your traumas. Did you know you had trauma from your
no,
childhood?
I did not I knew some things, but I did not recognize it as trauma.
So that's a great point. That's the second point, I
Yeah.
think, is we don't always, if you read my book, right, which I talk about the traumas in there, or you
Yes.
were to
Yes.
share right now, an observer would be like, oh my gosh, hello, ladies, that's traumatic. But hey, guys, when you're in it and you're shut down, it's like you're in a fog. And I know people out there that are watching this get it. You can't even think straight. It's like, oh yeah, that bad event happened to me. Of course that's traumatic. How did I not know that? Because we're offline.
Exactly. And I didn't recognize it. And to talk about it and speak about it, and people go, oh, well, that was traumatic. Well, I didn't realize it at the time,
Yeah.
but absolutely. And you carry all that with you throughout the years. And that's where you start your responses of shutting down because you don't want to go to that area again. But yes,
Creates more trauma then because you're shut down and you get walked on more. So it's,
exactly.
you don't know what you don't know. So it's okay. I forgive myself for not knowing. And that's why I'm speaking out and putting these videos out in the world and doing all I'm doing, because I want people out there that were once where you and I were to know there's answers, there's support. Even if it's not my program, hey, you can get through it. There's this book, there's
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, I want people to know what we both walked through, is similar but different. And yes, there is hope. There is definite hope.
so
And
yeah, but tell us a little bit about what when you started to release the when we started to process it together with me and my and the program and all that. But really, you did the work. You were the one that went inside, answered those questions, looked at your emotions, started to process it. We've only done 2 sessions. So
right.
tell us how far you've come in the last few months from those dark thoughts to where you are now, let's just say.
From those dark months to now is night and day, night and day. From those dark moments, suicidal thoughts, can't sleep, can't eat, just food, oh, it's terrible. Well, now my appetite is back. I'm sleeping 7, 8 hours a night. I do not have nightmares now. I do not have tremors. Just, oh my gosh, I've got to get up. I've got to get dressed. I got to get out of the house. I got to drive. Just tremors, just fear from nowhere. That's resided. And now, if I'm sitting in traffic and you've got all this rustling traffic going around you, and I hear it's like I have that sensation, my heart's starting to flutter a little bit. And I'm like, I hear you. I've got you. We are safe. We are good. We're safe. We're not trapped. We're in a safe vehicle using different tools in which you've taught in your program of I'm listening, and it just calms right down. And the more you listen and acknowledge and appreciate and respect what you're feeling, the more you heal and the more it's released.
You're bringing up a great point. When we've been overwhelmed, whether or not it's a big trauma or little, it doesn't matter. Trauma looks all different.
Right.
Whenever you've been overwhelmed and you're stuck in that overwhelm where you didn't get to complete it, that's what I'm all about. Because some people may be watching this going, well, how do you do it? Well, we'll get it. That's deeper work. But for now, just to know that when you are sitting in traffic or you are dealing with stressful moments, they're 10 times harder when you haven't resolved your past stuff. And
Absolutely, yes. Before not resolving, I literally wanted to just get out of the car and run. But you can't. You can't leave your car in an intersection. That's not doable. Try explaining that to someone. No, and once you've been through, you're going through the program and you're listening and you realize you're using the tools to complete that fight or flight phase, you calm right down. And the next thing you know, you're sitting in that intersection you wanted to bolt from 2 weeks ago going, well, it's pretty out today. You realize you have a different mindset because you were able to complete that fight or flight, that trauma. And once you go in and complete it and recognize it and release it and let your body heal from that, rest it. Oh, it's there's so much healing. Oh, it's just night and day.
isn't it cool?
And
It's like
yes, I get
it's our
excited about it. Yes, I do.
we're
I mean,
both
I get excited just thinking about it because where I was to today, and we've had 2 sessions, and it's not even not 3 months into the program, and anger I didn't even realize was so bent up in me, able to release that for the first time. And I'm like, whoa.
I was gonna say
I had lost that emotion because I just stifled it down. And when I got that back, and I'm like, whoa.
I just want to make sure people could hear that word. You said anger. You tapped
Yes.
your anger that you
Yes.
had never tapped into, your voice speaking
Yes.
the truth of what you wanted, let your body tremble and shake and release. It's like we should be taught this in 5th grade, not sex anatomy.
Exactly. Absolutely. We should be taught to, respect and recognize our emotions.
I don't even know if they teach sex anatomy. I just remember being in fifth grade and it was like, not to say we shouldn't be taught that, but also be
Right.
taught how the nervous system works when somebody feels a threat. And what is
Absolutely.
a threat? There's bullying in middle schools. It's getting worse. There
Mhm.
is a threat. Somebody says something mean, boom, we shut down. Trauma starts. Amen.
Exactly. At a very, very young age, till, if we could reach out and help these children before they are, older adults, can you imagine the impact?
Well, because guess what? Once you start shutting down, that is your life pattern until you change it.
Yes.
So
That was
people,
me. Yes, that was me. I can testify to that because I shut down from a young age up to, adulthood, and I didn't have my voice until now.
so your childhood trauma led to unhealthy relationships, which
Yes.
led to the dark thoughts, which led to your answers with coming fine. We found each other.
Yes, yes. And I'm so grateful that we did just have addressed, the trauma, the emotions, and these tools are life changing. There is hope.
Yeah, right. That's how I felt. And so this is what I love about you and the right mindset. You and I both are the nice girls. So if anyone's watching this going, I didn't do anything, I was hurt. Yes, I get it. You get it.
I completely get that.
That
Yes.
doesn't matter though.
No.
We have to own our part and heal what has happened to us and learn from it. So
Yeah.
I used to think, okay, somebody's just not being nice to me. That's not my problem. Well, yes, it is my problem because I took it too long.
Hmm.
And that's what I love about you. You and I are the same. We went, oh my gosh, we took it too long. Where did we learn that? We learned, we stopped it, we released it. Now moving forward, do we take it from anybody? Crap.
Not anymore. No. We now have a voice. We have a voice and we speak up.
And a
It doesn't mean
body.
we become the bully. It means we appreciate and respect and we have a voice.
And we
Yeah.
listen to our bodies now. And now they're talking to us. Whereas before you and I were numb, we didn't
Exactly.
know. And
Mm-mm.
now how they're talking to us, this is important. Heart might race. So Teresa, this is what I love about you. You've checked in with me after we even started doing our sessions and you've done the work and you felt better. Bigger energy started to come up and it was a bit much because now here comes the anger that never got to speak. That's good.
Yes, it's like you speak in your program, anxiety, anger, stuff. They're our friends. They're the sensations that show up to the party that say, "Hey, I brought the snacks. We're going to have a good time. We're going to process this."
Listen to me because
Oh,
I'm your signal. So when
right.
something bad happens in the future, you know to walk away.
Exactly. You truly, instead of pushing through, you listen to that gut instinct, you listen to that negative feelings in your body that says, this isn't good, and
Yeah.
you need to speak up and it's time to leave. And it's so healthy.
Do
Yeah.
you do you want to say a little bit more? Because I think we've covered the main points. This is like perfect. Like this was quick to the point, and I know people like
Good.
that. Is
Yes.
there I know when I've worked on myself, people are always like, what happened to you, Karlee? That's why I wrote a book. And I'm actually glad it's in a book because I don't have to talk about it anymore because I don't need to. It's like yeesh. But sitting here with you, you do not have to talk about anything. But is there anything you want to say, specific or general, about what you've been through? I mean, you can just say the word trauma or abuse, but if there's anything you wanted to share so people are like, well, gosh, what did Karlee and Teresa go through? Because I don't know if that's me. Should you or I
Um,
reveal anything?
well, I think we can reveal a little bit because I don't want to say too much and then folks go, well, that wasn't me. This won't help. Oh, no,
Great,
no.
great
Because,
point.
yes. So I want to say from me, childhood was not a healthy environment. Had a mom, love her dearly, always will, with a personality disorder. So she wasn't capable of giving the love that I needed as a child. No fault of her own.
That's what
Um,
happened to her.
that's what happened to her, and she didn't have the resources to break that.
Yes.
So fortunately, I get to break that chain. But from that, those negative patterns of learned of things that did occur in trauma in childhood of other facets, that led me into unhealthy relationships because that was the pattern I grew up in. So I thought, well, unhealthy relationships are normal. Well, unhealthy relationships can bring about trauma and a bad situation that you shouldn't stay in.
Even worse. It's almost like it gets worse. So we wake up. Yeah.
So we wake up from that going, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
But you don't realize, and when you're in that situation and you're like, why am I in this? Why can't I leave it? Oh,
Yes.
it'll get better, but it doesn't get better. Oh, it'll get better, but it doesn't get better. Then you try to just engulf it inside and just pretend it's not there till one day it goes, no more. I cannot do this anymore. And from that, and then you go in through the program and learning, it's not that you go out and make bad choices. Yeah, some people do,
Right.
but like in our situations, bad choices came to us because we were the nice girls and we did go, oh, well, we think we can help somebody or fix somebody. Everyone needs to love and appreciate and fix themselves
Yeah.
personally. And
Yes, that's a great point.
you take responsibility for yourself because it's two healthy people that make a healthy relationship.
You don't have to
One
fix
healthy,
anyone.
no, because one healthy, one unhealthy, you've got a codependent and you're not helping each other.
Beautiful point. That is a great one to take away. If you want to help someone else or fix someone else, turn it around and say, oh, it's because I really want to help and fix myself. That's where relationships
Exactly.
start. I
That's
see,
because, yes.
I'm seeing more messages actually on my Facebook group, the Moving Forward from Trauma one, where people are talking about being with narcissists or being gaslit or being, sorry, what's the word? Oh, the trauma bond.
Yeah, the Trump, yeah.
That's, yeah. So that was you and I as well. So hopefully this will help them knowing you have a role you can do for you, regardless of that other person. You can find your power, learn from it. It's not just
Absolutely.
that this person did things to you. You have a role that the universe, God wants you to heal. And when you do, you will attract healthy relationships, no more trauma bonds.
Absolutely. No more trauma bond, no more codependency. And when you have that and you heal yourself, you gain your voice and you set healthy boundaries.
Yeah. So,
So,
so that's a good point. You can't be in a trauma bond unless you already had trauma before.
right, exactly.
Whatever relationships we're drawing in is a reflection of what we learned from childhood. When I learned that,
Yes. See, I didn't realize that. And when I learned that, I'm like, oh, I kept beating myself up trying to fix this person, fix
yeah,
that person, fix me. I couldn't do that. That wasn't my job to do.
no.
My job was just to take responsibility of me, to heal me, to set healthy boundaries, to speak truth and be honest with myself.
And to know what you deserve.
Yes, yes, because that's when you have those healthy boundaries, you have more confidence in yourself. And I mean, like I said, night and day from just a few sessions and doing your program.
And
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened to me. And thank you for saying that. And that was my journey too when I found this work. It doesn't mean there's still not challenging times. I still have them.
I do too. Absolutely. And every day, you learn and you release
like,
a little more. You do. Don't
don't
ever
you
think it's a straight bond because no.
You know what it's like? I think I just got, instead of going up, down, up like this, it gets more middle, more you can cruise. It's not
Exactly.
so
It
high, low.
does. It does. Now, when you very first start out, you're like, oh, as you discover things, you are that up and down, and but then as you go through and you're releasing and you're learning and you're gaining more and more tools, healthy boundaries, listening to yourself, you know, forgiving yourself, it just then you become on that middle ground and you're like, wow, this is new.
Yes,
This
isn't
is wonderful. And so it's new. It's like, okay, I'm a toddler, exploring the world.
Beautiful.
a fresh set of eyes, oh, it's yes.
That was perfect. That is, I was just going to say, like you just said it, absolutely perfect. It's like a whole new world.
It
You,
is.
you just really, it's just about you.
It is. It's a whole new world. And the darkness,
Goes,
okay, that it goes away more and more and more and more. And because you're so afraid at first of how in the world, but you're so worth it. I don't mean to stutter here, but keep working through the program. And it's amazing how quickly things turn around. They
yes,
do. And they do. And that darkness just goes.
it does. Somebody's
Yeah.
picking up something. That's our babysitter. She is the sweetest lady in the
Oh,
world. That was his little way from God.
there we go. Hey.
She's so lovely. My son
Oh,
loves her. Bye-bye. That's the light, the dark fate. That was it right there. She's
there,
the light. She came to me. I needed help with an infant so I could work. She was delivered in my lap.
there
It's
we go.
that's how it works. The more the dark loses its power. That's what I want to
Abs-
emphasize on.
Absolutely, it does. And more light is drawn in, and the more light that's drawn in, more comes and more comes.
Yes.
And it's just like that dark day went from, hey, this is an amazing day. What new opportunities are we going to occur? What's going to happen today?
You know,
New beginnings, new opportunities.
and
Yes,
I don't talk because we just saw her, and I don't say this very often, but I got pregnant naturally in my 40s. That's a miracle.
that is in itself.
After
Yes.
quite a few miscarriages. They were early on, so thank you, God, but there was a few there that were really hard. But again, from this work, that is what we're sharing right now. That endurance, no matter how hard those were, I had faith now because I'd done this work. And that if I was going to be chosen to bring a soul in to make the world better, it was God's plan. And then it happened.
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely. Yes. God's timing, God's plan. Yes.
those things, when you heal, that flow happens in that's what I'm trying to show, whether or not it's finding a babysitter, getting pregnant, look at you, a new job, helping your kids, whatever you are doing in life just gets better. It's a ripple effect. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. It definitely is. And what you're giving out is drawn in twofold. It's coming back at you. And so you grow and you're more confident and you're more light. And again, it comes right back at you. So yes.
Oh, I think this was perfect, short and sweet. I think we covered a lot fast, like people can
Good.
replay this. I love you.
I
Oh.
love you too. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your program. Thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's
Thank
made for
you.
people like you. It's the path I took and it worked. So I'm grateful for you. I want to give you thank me so much, but it's really you. You did the work. It's you.
It's thank you. And there's so many more like me that I just want to share with them what I've experienced.
You're gonna have to write a book. I'll help you with that.
Okay. I would love
Your story is so powerful. You're an
thank
inspiration.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, we'll sign off for now and we'll do more later.
Okay. Thank you so much, Karlee.
Thank you.